Hey guys, Anna here. Welcome to today's video. Welcome to another speed build. We are in the world of Henford-on-Bagley and we are building a small cottage. Initially, I wanted to do like a starter home cottage, but I decided not to. I kind of started with a very basic kind of exterior facade, I guess. But then I realized it looked too much like a residential house, like not a cottage that looks like it's in an English countryside. So I wanted to change it a bit. And as I said in Tuesday's video, I really did struggle with this style of build, but I think I did okay. And my goal for the second build was to use the items that I didn't use in the first build. So we've got these beautiful roof decals, and I've got the double chimneys and the thatched roofs, and I did use similar items because I just really love the style. And in this particular build, we do use all the roof decals that come with the pack. So I just think that it just turned out to be a little bit too expensive for it to be a starter home, because I wanted to use all of those type of things. I wanted to use different windows, and yeah. So this particular lot is the lot which is in the upper part of the world, and I believe there is a starter home that's usually on this particular lot. And I did know that I wanted, initially I wanted to do a starter home, but in the end I just fell in love with decorating it, and I just wanted to use all the pieces and not worry about finances. So this particular build is a 2x1 bedroom cottage. So you have a master bedroom and then for a child sim. And the majority of this build is open floor. I did struggle with the floor plan. You won't see it in this particular video, but I chopped and changed a lot of footage just to be able to get this out. As you can see, there's a lot of furniture out on the exterior at the moment, just because I struggled with the placement for the kitchen and the majority of the build. So the floor plan, you walk in and you have your 2 bedrooms to your left hand side, and then the rest of the build is open, and then there is another room that's off to the side, and that's your bathroom. So this is very different to Tuesday's build, which was more of a closed floor plan. This is more of an open floor plan, and I just did that because I didn't really have much space. I think this build was a little bit more deceiving, like it looked a little bit bigger from the exterior to what it actually was. We still managed to get a decent sized kitchen in this build, and I don't believe I have a TV in this build. I'm pretty sure that I actually put in a fireplace. And do I use the other fireplace? Not sure. But these are some of the wall lights that I referred to in Tuesday's build. And the lighting was the one thing that was the drawback for this build, that for this pack that I found with Cottage Living. And they're not too bad. I do like the cottage themed lights, but they're not my favorite compared to the other assets. We do use this little space over here to put in a desk, and I think that that's quite nice because that obviously uses that new item. And yeah, I definitely could have made this a starter home if I just, didn't use as many objects. Maybe if I made the kitchen a bit smaller. But I wanted to use the rounded dining table. I wanted to use the other fireplace, and I wanted to use some of the lights and a lot of the roof decals. So that was kind of my goal for this build, is to use the items I didn't use in Tuesdays. And this is definitely more my favorite build of the two. I just think it's really cozy and really sweet, and I think it's really super cluttered. And I just think it's cozy, and I think it's more realistic. Like, I find that when I always have the intention of having a really big family and a big farm, and then you go to play and you're like, oh my God, this is really difficult. So something about having a small family And having a farm actually sounds more appealing to me. And I think that that would be really enjoyable to just, that way you can focus on being able to maintain it, because I feel like it can get very overwhelming when you have like 12 chickens, 2 cows, a giant garden, 2 toddlers, and a child. So, I definitely see the benefit of having a smaller family. Um, yeah, so it's coming together quite quickly. And this is because I really struggled with the floor plan. So once I found out what I wanted to do with the floor plan, it did come together quite quickly because I just threw all the furniture that I had picked out and onto the build. I really love this kind of floral wallpaper. I do think it is a bit striking, but it matches the cloth on the tablecloth on the dining table. And I think using some of the brick as an accent wall actually really helped the space. So I've put that in the kitchen and behind the fireplace, and I believe that's the same brick that I used out in the exterior. So it kind of makes sense. Because, like, I do wonder, like, with the material, like some of these builds that I do where you use kind of like a rock or a stone, would make more sense if there was rock and stone inside as well, as opposed to, like, some floral wallpaper. But it's The Sims and it looks pretty. The wallpaper in this pack is really lovely. And I do love all the cutesy, like, little rabbits and, toadstools and things like that. I think they make really cute, like, little kids' rooms and stuff. So yeah, so we're in the master bedroom and I didn't have a lot of space. Like, this is probably a smaller master bedroom than I'd like. But I just wanted to really use a lot of, so I used the new dresser, used the new couches. I really like this little sitting area and the idea that you would just sit and read a book or do some cross stitching. Got that tartan print, which then matches a little bit in with the wallpaper. And again, see, I didn't have a bedside lamp, so I used one of the wall lamps above the end table, and that kind of worked in that space. We're then moving into the bathroom. The bathroom was a very odd shape. I normally have more of a square bathroom as opposed to a rectangle. So I had to kind of move things around a little bit just to kind of fit the tub in a way that I felt was nice, because the tub was part of the pack. And so, yeah, I think I did a good job there, putting it on a bit of an angle. And I love this Space Game rug. So that just became a really good use of that space. And yeah, just cluttered it up as I normally would. And then I think we go into the outside, to the landscaping. So I kind of do this when I build. You would know this if you're an avid Anna watcher. I don't really fully decorate one area and then move to the landscaping. I don't really have a rhyme or way. I just kind of do things. And as you can see, this was the time in the build where I was working on the roof and putting in those details. And I just think that it really does elevate the build, and it does kind of make this build a little bit different to Tuesday's build, which I felt was more of a traditional cottage. This is more of like, actually no, this is more like fairy tale cottage when I think of that, as opposed to Tuesday's build, which could have actually fit quite well in the town square type space as well. And that's the other type of builds that, styles of homes that I've seen. All right, so this is the time where I'm mapping out where I want my landscaping, how I want it to be. And as I mentioned in Tuesday's video, the gardening space was not as much as I'd like. It's only these 6 planters, and I probably should have put a lot more, but it is a smaller build, and I did want to keep it a smaller build because I know that I'm often very much tempted to make these builds quite large. So I didn't want to do that in this case. And then, like I mentioned in Tuesday's build, I really want to layer my terrain paint. So I often start with the fencing, and then from there I layer my terrain paint. That kind of maps out where I want to put foliage and plants and trees and whatnot. So we've gone in with some pathing, and then I think I just move into the trees and the plants and all of that stuff. So yeah, definitely prefer this build. I think it comes in at like 40k or something. It's not too expensive, but it's definitely not a starter home price, but that's okay. And we are just currently putting in the show live edit objects cheat just so that we can get into the debug menu, which is a phenomenal debug menu. There's so many standout plants and stuff that I would love to use in other builds, but at the moment with a restricted build, you just have to kind of use what you've got. And that's also been another challenge in this, is like it's noticing how many items that I just use repetitively. And I think it's been really exciting to see what's different in these packs, to see what we can use. And yeah, so I found this open gate piece and I thought that that was really special. And also like a bike and just like those rustic type items, which just seemed like really lovely to use. And then obviously I put some additional planters around, and I believe, yeah, so I don't think we have chickens in this build. I think it's just like potentially a cow and or a llama. I was having a lot of issues with the plants jumping up near where the foundation is, so I've had to lower the foundation just so that I can do all the landscaping, and that is a trick that I have for you. So if you're having issues with that, lower the foundation and you should be able to place plants closer to the lot itself, the building, and without it jumping. So that's really cool. And yeah, so a little bit more about this build. So it came together fairly well. And to be honest, probably the longest part of this build was the landscaping. I wanted to make sure that the landscaping was very cohesive. I really loved this gardening old rustic tool that had the plants in it, which you can see just there. I absolutely think that that's really sweet. And I just wanted to like do a path and then center everything around the path. And I think I've done that. I just added some, I love these little toadstools, mushrooms. Aren't they so sweet? So I just got a whole pile of them and just started placing them in and around the build. And yeah, I just think that, yeah, it looks lovely. I had this space here and then I thought, let me put all of these like roses in here. I love the deep red roses. I think they're beautiful. Also, these yellow plants are really sweet. You'll see them here. And I just combined that with those red flowers. And I just, yeah, just cluttered the space. I could have probably fit some chickens in here if I wanted to. This build is available on the Sims 4 gallery. My ID Antoinette44 is in the description below. So if you'd like to download this build, you definitely feel free. It is live now, and yeah, feel free to make any amendments you'd like to this build. And yeah, we are now moving back inside to finish off those. I think it's just the bedroom and the hallway. So this is that child's room. Again, they're a bit odd shaped, these rooms. So I really did struggle with the layout and how to best place things so that they are functional. But I think we did a okay job. Again, as I said in Tuesday's build, it's a lot of the child stuff is base game just purely because Cottage Living didn't come with a lot of kids stuff, but that's okay. I still think it's a nice little space. Just having a desk there, used a lot Bluffy, and just went with a green kind of bluish theme just because it matched the wallpaper, and some posters. And I believe in the entranceway we just put like a buffet table and a mirror, and that just kind of clutters that space. Just adding a mirror. And then we will be moving into the tour. So next week we have our Christmas builds, which is super exciting. So Tuesday, which is Christmas Eve, will be live with a build. It is a Home and Alone inspired house. I'm so excited for that. All right, we are live in game and for the tour, and we are just kind of going through the landscaping. So that was the gardening place where you've got the cows and whatnot. So we move into the entryway to that open living area. So you've got a full kitchen, dining, living, and then off into the master bedroom. Quite nice in there. Into the child's room. Just a basics child's room, and into the bathroom. And that is today's build, guys. So thank you so much for joining me here today. I hope you like the build. If you do, please let me know in the comment section down below your thoughts. And with that, I will see you in the next one. Bye bye for now.